The feast of St. Luke gives us an occasion to reflect on Luke's ministry. We hear in the letter of Paul to Timothy of how Paul is telling Luke, hey, bring the cloak that I forgot. Paul is telling all of us the story of the good news. And sometimes it's sad news that the coppersmith did him great harm. And so Paul is sharing that to the early community where Timothy was the bishop. And in it we have that one line, and Luke was the only one with me. We see Luke was a close companion of St. Paul. Even Mark's mentioned in this brief letter we have from Timothy. And we see Luke and Mark as evangelists, as spreading the good news. In the gospel account today, we have Jesus sending out the 72 in pairs. And there's wisdom in that, to share with someone what is happening in one's spiritual life, to share with someone what's happening in one's own life. The understanding of good news, evangelium, that understanding of what do we share with one another? What do we tell? Recently, at Good Shepherd Parish in Wayland, we had His Eminence Cardinal Sean O'Malley come out for our 10th anniversary of one parish coming together of two different churches, St. Anne's and St. Zephyr's. And now we're Good Shepherd Parish. So I told everyone the Cardinal's coming. And I've been telling everyone we had a great celebration with Cardinal O'Malley. What do you share with the people you love? What message do you give to those that are close to you? Sometimes we need to think of what do we share? What are we willing to tell people? Can we put on our list blessings received? This is what God has done for me today. It's a simple sentence maybe. This is the blessing I received today. And we could just say it that quickly to a friend or someone we like, someone we call, someone we even email. What blessings have we received? What are we grateful for God today? And can we share that with another person? And slowly we start to see how the good news started to travel. It was all word of mouth. Paul's early letters to the community were read out loud. And it was in that proclamation that people heard the good news. People telling one person to another, this is the blessings that I received. This is what God has done for me. I know in my journeys as a priest, I've been very profound, blessed to have spiritual directors that I talk to about what God is doing in my life. And I see my spiritual director maybe a month, every 6 weeks for the sacrament of reconciliation, but also to share what God is doing, to talk about my own prayer life. And slowly in that conversation, a deeper level of God is discovered. This past summer in June, I had the privilege of going on retreat, an 8-day silent retreat up at Eastern Point Retreat House in Gloucester. And I had a very old Jesuit priest who was the director, my director for that 8 days. And he asked me, what happens in prayer? And it was awkward, but it's good to tell people. And then he says, have you ever just talked? I said, what? He said, well, you've ever just shared? I said, what? I said, I have my prayer list, I have my intercessory prayers, I have my blessings. And he says, have you ever just shared? And slowly I took that to prayer. And for some reason I did his whole thing, sit opposite an empty chair and envision Jesus there. And the first thing that popped into my mind is, so what should I call you? And in my crazy mind, I got the little message in the back of my mind, just call me J. J for Jesus. And I've shared that story with so many people, just to say now in my own private prayer, I can say, hey Jay, what's happening? Hey Jay, this is what's happening in my life today. Here's the struggles, and here's the blessings received. And then if I can talk to the Lord that way, so casually, hey Jay, maybe I can also share with other people what the Lord is doing in my life. So this day, as we celebrate St. Luke, this day as we celebrate the evangelist, let us ask for that grace and privilege to share the good news with one another, as Luke did, as Paul did, as Timothy. What can we share with one another and make that be good news?